All right, we got a early week. It's day 2 of the week, Tuesday Aussie time. It's 2 o'clock. Just going to give a little update here on price action on DXY. I'm going to stick to DXY, I think, unless something drags my attention. But yeah, here's a little short and some tips. So market was, when I did my video, market was this area. Let's check it out. We're 3 days there. So yeah, here was market open. And I basically said in that my first YouTube video that I was looking for one more correction on DXY, a hit to the low, and then upside, potentially some vehement upside, right? And so then I've just drawn my little squiggle. Now, what can we see here? We can see that we had that hit to the low, so we took out the low, which was expected. But the question is, are we done now, and are we going up, or is this just here another correction? Actually, I might take this off just so we can see a little bit clearer. Put on days for now. So is this in itself another small correction to be followed by that dip to the downside before upside? So we're going to get this and then this, right? And then we get that upside. So that absolutely can happen. We can also go straight upside from here. So you might say, well, I can go up or down, right? So we can go, well, of course it can go up or down. But the thing is that I know how to trade it whichever way it's going to go. I have my ways, right? And so that's what we're doing. We're looking at how we can identify the direction and give us a directional bias. So just like back here with this expansion line, and when we came up and we got the liquidity grab here that I called for, rode this down short, we jumped through the EL, but held it, and then tagged again, created that higher low, and then we shot up, right? So there was no short in this scenario unless we broke down, retested, and then went down, right? So this ended up being, just to give you an example, we got these expansion legs here. Now we could have done this, but we didn't, right? So I waited for it. We got the retest, we traded that, went up here for a big expansion leg, and then we got the sell-off, right? Again, spoke about that in the Discord. So didn't miss that, traded it. We had an unreal first trading week, up over 400 pips profit. Second week was a bit slower. It was a lot of, that was all this sort of nonsense in here. And that was just a bit, all this sort of contraction that just wasn't fun to trade. Everything was sort of just coming. You'd get an entry and then it would go like 20, 30 pips and it would come back, right? So a bit of a slower week. But here we've got, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. But anyway, I'll leave that. But that's what we're doing, right? So that's what I'm looking for. So that's on that bigger time frame. So now I'm just looking for that down here on this smaller time frame, because like I said, we have these 3-phase market setups on every time frame, right? So you can see that this was a big time frame, right? That played out over, let's say what 16 days, right? So you can trade all that stuff, trading, because on the smaller time frame you got all the setups and you trade all the different ELs in there. And then you're getting these expansion legs, right? And then this is the big trending leg. Now, and that is the trend. Like that can definitely just be the trend there, right? That's the trending leg, and then that's the trending leg done. So how do we identify that the trending leg is done? Well, we're looking for another contraction zone, which we've had on the smaller time frame. And then obviously you're looking at your higher time frame, reversal signals, etc. We got a bit of an RSI break here on the 4 hour, a break and bullish retest. A bit of a bump and run there. It's not unreal, but sometimes they don't give you unreal ones, and then that's when you're gonna get your reversal, right? Because it doesn't look like it's perfect. So if we break down and we go down to the smaller time frame, you can see again just that you can see that sort of wave action, right? What I'm talking about. You might start to be able to identify. I can certainly help you in identifying it and how to trade these three-phase market setups. But identifying your contraction zone and identifying your expansion line, and that allows you to pinpoint your entries. There's also a way to pinpoint your expansion leg entries, which again in the Discord, happy to help anyone out with that, and give those entries, and also allow you to get those targets for yourself. But here we go. I'll just show you here. So we're looking at this, right? We're looking at these expansion legs, right? And then we're looking at a bit of Elliott wave as well, right? So potentially, what can this be? If you're an Elliott wave trader, well, one way to look at this for me is that we could have a flat going on, right? So we got 3 here, flat itself, and then we got 5 here, right? So there's 3 waves. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we got 5. So that's a nice little flat, right? That flat played out beautifully. Nice expansion leg up there. So you see how they sort of work in with each other. And then we've got this 3 wave down. So we've got 3 waves down here, right? Well, if you know Elliott wave, we have the potential for 3, 3, and then 5. So you don't have to count 5. You absolutely do not have to count 5. But there's a potential that's what we get. So you could easily count this as sort of going for 5 waves. So what are the trade setups? Well, and what am I looking for? Well, I'm basically looking for liquidity to be potentially taken above this top. So this would be my target zone, right? And we can do this on all pairs. I'm just showing you on DXY, but this will be my criteria for an entry short, right? Which would be to short U pairs or long your majors, right? So this is when we couple DXY with our majors and our entries. So EU is generally quite just the inverse of DXY. So you might have a very similar setup, but just the opposite. But other majors could have a completely, could be like, instead of having an expansion leg to, like, let's say the downside as an opposite of DXY, they could just be retesting an EL or something of the sort, right? And obviously you have a lot of different wave action. But a short setup would be above this top, right? You look at the lower time frame, down on the 5 minute, you look for a 5 minute 3-phase setup. You look for, divergences, some hidden bear or a break and retest, say, of an RSI trend, and then we're looking to come down to here at a minimum, and then if we were to say hold that, then we'd be more likely that maybe this structure here is not connected to this one. This is a finished structure, and then this is maybe the beginnings of a new impulse, a new wave to the upside. So it could be a bunch of things, but the point is that you just trade the setup, right? So that's how I do it. That's how I'm always going to do it, and this is what this allows. So this trading style allows. So we can get 3 like that, and we might get a short, sharp plunge down here, and then start riding back up. We could continue on from here, get that move up here, maybe even do a little retest for that extra leg, get the breakout traders, only to come back down, right? But the point is that you're not going to be going into any, you're not going to be shorting anything at this level certainly not my trading style. You wouldn't be taking a short here unless we first reach first shorting region is up here, right? And then again, you've got to couple your other TA with it. You can just take it straight off the 3-phase market setup. I've done it and it works brilliantly. But obviously, if you can back it up with some other TA, be it some Elliott wave or some divergences, or maybe you use some other technical analysis. But we got the liquidity grab, so some fibs, whatnot. If you can couple it, then, but you're not going to short this area here and especially not sort of now, because we're in the middle of Asia. So this is another just a quick tip. Don't trade in the middle of sessions. There's just not much point. Wait for your trade setup. Wait for London opening, or you get your 2-hour reversal in London. And then your next trade setup is news right before New York, and then you got your New York setups. But one thing I recommend is just don't even bother. Just take your profit at the end of New York. Let Asia play out. There are times when Asia is not too bad and you can get some trades, but often it's just gonna come back to you and you get stopped out and you're not getting those bigger moves. So you see, there's a bit of hidden bull here, different things like that, right? What are we on? We're on the 30, maybe drop down to 15, see if we got anything. $10. You can just draw trend lines like this, help you. These things come in handy. What they do is they give you the setup. So you wait for the break, you get the break, a bit of a sell off, and then you might get some divergence, right? And then that's when you can go, all right, I might take a long. We stayed above the EL. This came down in some sort of corrective fashion, and then the RSI had broken and had come down here, right? So then we've got some hidden bull, and so then you can sort of be confident to a degree, and then your stop would be under here. But that's, like I say, you need your other TA. But you can be confident that you're most probably going to get that hit up to at least this level. You can take some profit there. You can leave a position open, ride it. If you've got the ability to hedge, you can hedge a short there and go for that, riding that down. And once you break down back into the not having a retest of the high, but rather sort of breaking down and coming down, you can close your long and then ride the short. I do have a hedging strategy, but that's a whole nother video. But this is just ways that you can look for trade setups. It gives you the 3-phase market setup will allow you to take the right trade and not get caught on the wrong side of a trade, right? So again, you're not going to, if you were to take a short because of some other TA that you thought of, and then this comes down and it retests this EL, well then when it comes back up, let's just say you took a short here, right? Taking a scalping short, and it comes down, and then it does this, and then it comes up like this, and this is London, and then it's coming up to the end of London, and you're going into New York. When it comes back to you, and if you got in at this level, you don't hold on to that trade, right? Because if you've got some other TA going, you might think, oh no, we're still looking good, we're all right. But once you've got that retest of the EL, it's far more likely that at a minimum, you're going to get that expansion leg up here at least. Then, so what you do is you'd cut your trade here, then you would re-enter back up here at your next entry level to ride this down, to maybe tag it again, or to retest, go down, and take profit under this low. All right, I think I've explained enough about that. Just trying to give some little tips that you guys can maybe have a look and see how the market behaves, and think about what I've told you, and see if you can find the market sort of behaving in the manner and that I've sort of spoken about here, and maybe you'll be able to utilize it if you're good at self-teaching. then you might be able to make the most of it and learn all you need to just off the little tips I give. But, I've honed this over a fair bit of time, and it works really well. So just to sort of wrap up, how long are we going? 15 minutes. I'll be looking. I could definitely see this being an expanding flat here. That one might go like that. So price comes up here, and this could be after a retest here, up here. And we'll check RSI, different things like that as well. But you could definitely take that entry, and then obviously if it comes back, corrects, puts in a corrective wave on this level, then we're getting out, right? We're taking profit on that short, or when it comes back, we're cutting it break even. You don't hold on to it. So I can see that happening. Or again, I can see, yes, here it is. Oh, I've lost my box again. Or I can see something like this. We go up, and then we come on down. We get that lower move. Get that lower move down here, and then we start trending up. And that's what I would be looking for. And I would be looking for that long to be big, right? So was definitely looking for this to be taken. It's gone a little. It has gone lower than I expected. It was more about 102.6 sort of thing that I was looking for. But yeah, that double bottom classic market maker setup. We broke that. We came back. We sort of just retested the double bottom, and then we came down. So with this move up, we can sort of be looking at, it coming up to this old EL, and then sort of correcting, even potentially just stopping here, but I'd much more likely to come up here, and then we can be trending down again. That's a potential. That's certainly a potential, but I don't trade that far ahead. Always looking at potentials like that, but I'm not trading those sort of moves. Yeah, I mean that's sort of investment level kind of trading. So if you want to do, why does it keep doing my box? If you want to trade like that, then that's awesome. But that's not how I do things. I do it. I trade wave to wave, day to day, and then I have my swing trades as well. So potentially you could put a swing position on. All right, I'm going to go, guys. Drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment, and I hope you enjoyed this. I'll continue to try to refine my skills, get a little less rambly, and a little bit more concise and to the point. I'll keep going. I'll get better. I promise. All right. Thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.